Hi guys and welcome back. Today I'm working on this little painting so that I can test out this new to me but new brand of watercolors. I absolutely love trying out new papers and new paints for watercolors because while I have my favorites, there is always room for improvement or certain paints that will perform better than others. So I love that. I love being able to keep searching for that new paint that I love, that one that'll fix that problem that I have. But this full little set of watercolors was actually sent to me from another YouTuber who I am incredibly grateful for. But if you'd like to check them out, I have a link to their YouTube channel down in the description. But this is from Oto Kano, and I was just blown away when I saw this in my PO box so that I could test out all these new watercolors. It was really nice too because it came right after Inktober and I was just ready to dive back into some really beautiful watercolors. And as you can probably tell, I have been using these paints so far. I wanted to see how they would play together, how they would act while I'm using them in a full piece. So I've actually done this painting so far that you're about to watch, and also the one before this that was the YouTube Artist Collective video. That painting I used quite a bit of these Holbein paints, and I have to say I am in love. They are so saturated. They have this really beautiful range of colors, and some of them just are so much more saturated than any comparable one for M-gram. And I love that. I love being able to take something that's a lot brighter, especially in watercolors, because they tend to be just a little bit more desaturated than some other painting options out there. So they whenever I can find something that's just a bit above the norm as far as saturation, I know that I want that. I know that I want that paint. So there are a few specifically in this set that just really knock it out of the park with the brightness that they have. The opera pink in this set is really, really pretty. I absolutely love it. But there's also a lot of really great reds in this set, and I didn't really notice until I was using these and swatching them that my normal set of watercolors, I'm really lacking in reds. I didn't have nearly as many to choose from, and I was just blown away by some of the qualities that some of these reds had and the looks that they had. They were just really beautiful. So that might be a section of watercolors that I'll have to fill in a little bit more. Although now I have lots and lots of reds to work from until I run out of those. But like I always like to say, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting to know each paint before you're really using them in a finished product, even if it means doing just a quick swatch before you put it on your final painting. And the reason for that is you really want to be sure that it doesn't behave in a way that you're not expecting. Like my Payne's Gray, it bleeds a lot when you reactivate it with water near it. So once you paint down Payne's Gray and then I go back in with another brush stroke on top of it, it immediately sucks back into that wet area. So I know that when I'm painting with Payne's Gray absolutely has to be that last layer, or else while I'm painting next to it, it will bleed into that and ruin those other washes. So for any new paint that I'm using, I want to put down a swatch on a spare piece of paper, and then I also go back over it with more water and I see what it looks like when I'm glazing it with other options that I'm going to glaze it with. That way I can know before I put it down whether it's going to work the way that I want it to. And there were quite a few more opaque paints in this set, which I was actually really interested to test out and see if I actually liked how they behaved. So you can tell which ones are more opaque. Generally, if they're kind of this pastel color, it probably means that has white mixed in, and white in watercolors is more of an opaque paint and pigment. And what that really does is it just brings down the crispness and transparency of your watercolors. So it doesn't always have a negative effect, but sometimes it can. If you're painting on top of certain details, it can obscure it and cover it up, or it can not play as nicely with line work as other paints, where maybe other paints would still let the darkness of the line work show through clearly. Sometimes if you're using a more opaque paint with watercolors, it can make it look foggy. So it is just something to be a little bit more aware of, but those paints looked so pretty in the pan, so I was excited to actually try them. I don't have any other paints like that because I always avoid them, but since I had the opportunity, it was a fun little change, and I actually was surprised at how little it affected, say, the line work. Even though I knew that it was more opaque, it still had a level of crispness to it, but I don't know, I found that the color was different. It had a different quality to it than just mixing a transparent color that had that same value basically. And I liked it actually. I think that there's room in my process to figure that out, figure out these more opaque paints and figure out how I want to use them and how they can have benefits specifically in my paintings. And I think that's really just the key with watercolors, or really any kind of painting mechanic, is that you just want to figure them out so that you can know how to use them the way that you want them to behave. So some paints may have what's generally a negative, like those where they're a little bit more opaque, but used in the right context, they can be a benefit, and I can switch it around so that it's actually something that's desirable. But I have to say, I really loved these paints. I love the brand Holbein for watercolors, and I'm really excited to get to know all of these paints a little bit more and start picking out which ones are my favorite, which ones I know I'll want to buy and continue after I use up this little sample that I got. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to just getting to know new paint. I don't know, it's really surprising to me at least how just switching even just a brand up like this, switching that up and giving me something new and exciting to focus on and figure out and learn, it gives me a lot of motivation to work on more paintings so that I can get a chance to figure these out. But yeah, I love them. I will definitely be buying more of these tubes as I run out of them. I do love how many are available, at least what I was sent. There may be more than this, but I love M-Gram, and there are reasons that I'll always love M-Gram. I love that they're made of honey, and there are some other reasons too, but they don't have a huge supply of color options, and this set has so many. So there's a few more colors that just aren't available in M-Gram that I'll be really excited about seeing how I can utilize them in my paintings. And don't forget to check out my art shop. I have this original painting available over there, and I have some new stickers and new prints, so go check that out, see what I have over on my shop. But that's it for today. I will be back on Saturday with another video, and I can't wait to show you guys what I've been working on. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you then.